A California state senator is switching parties. Longtime Democrat Marie Alvarado Gil is changing her party affiliation and joining Republicans. She represents a part of our region in the Central Valley and northeastern California. Voter registration there leans Republican in that district. Today she sat down with KCRA3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala, but walked out of the interview after questions about who she'll support in the upcoming presidential election. So, Ashley, given switching party affiliations and the fact that, voters voted for her,
right,
as a Democrat, and now she's switching, it sounds like a pretty fair question.
And especially because we are less than 3 months out from an election. State Senator Marie Alvarado Gil says the decision to change parties was a difficult one, but she did not answer the question when we asked what exactly about the Republican Party drew her in. Eventually, she wanted out of this interview after a few questions about the upcoming presidential election and Donald Trump.
I have not endorsed Donald Trump, and I have not endorsed Kamala Harris.
State Senator Marie Alvarado Gil agreed to sit down with us for 30 minutes, but she cut it a bit short as I pressed her about the upcoming presidential election and where she stands. And as a Latina in California, Donald Trump has said he would do the largest deportation roundup of undocumented people, which would inevitably target mostly Latinos. So is that a policy that you would support? And this is a person that you are watching to consider for potentially voting for?
I'm watching.
November.
I'm not considering. You're putting words in my mouth. You want to re-ask the question, I will answer it for you.
So this policy that Donald Trump has as potentially doing the largest deportation, mass roundup of undocumented people that would mostly target Latinos, this is someone that you are watching.
I am absolutely watching this, and I'm absolutely watching the immigration policy at the federal level.
Is that something you would support?
That was not something I would support.
I'm asking you for your stance, because right now people have a hard time identifying who exactly you are. So if you don't support Kamala Harris and you don't support Donald Trump, you have changed your party affiliation from one to the other, and we are less than 3 months out from an election. I think your constituents might want to know who you are supporting in this consequential election.
My name's not on the ballot. I'm a voter, just like other Californians, just like Americans. We're watching both candidates. I'm going to be very intensely watching the debate. I want to see what issues they're going to put forward and what they're going to champion. I'm not interested in promises, empty promises. I want to see what are they going to commit to. Now, as far as the constituents that I represent, I will be accountable to my votes. I will be accountable to my actions. And I have 2 years in serving this role, and it has nothing to do with who's going to be president. But unfortunately, we are all voters, and we all have to make a choice of just 2 people. That's what we've got, unless it changes. Unless it changes in November.
So
I want to thank you because we
questions.
already had a lot of time.
I have 2 final
and I
questions.
want to thank you for having this time for us.
So she then took off her microphone. We tried to ask her one more as she waited for her ride. What do you say to your constituents? She never answered. Now, she did sit down with us for the majority of those 30 minutes. We talked there about her voting record, some of California's Democratic leaders, and her feelings about President Joe Biden. You can watch that full conversation in a little bit, within the hour. We are hoping to have that on KCRA.com.
So in your piece, she said that she had not endorsed Kamala Harris, but there was an Instagram post saying that basically she did support Kamala, but then that post is removed. So what happened to that?
Right, we talk about this in the interview. There was this post actually flagged by a Republican state lawmaker, Bill Essayli, last night, showing basically that there's some support for Kamala Harris, but that post was deleted from her Instagram account, and I asked why. She just contended that it was pretty much a monumental moment for President Joe Biden to step down, and this is a big moment for the country. And then she went on to say that she did not delete the post, and that if it was deleted, the Senate Democratic Caucus controls that account, but neither of those things are true. The post is no longer on her Instagram account, and the Senate Democratic Caucus does not control it. So, there is some follow-up to potentially be done with Senator Alvarado Gil.
Hopefully she'll make her positions more clear in the weeks ahead. Thank you.